That's fire. That's fire.
Yeah, what's up, everybody? It's your boy L00. What's cracking? About to get it in, boy. Let's do this. Yeah, what's up, boy? Stay tuned in. We about to go live right now. Smoking up. Yo, what's up? What's up? Stay tuned in. Let me play you guys some music real quick before we get the interview started. Yeah, L00. Can y'all hear me all right? Just want to check if you guys can hear me all right. I want to make sure this shit's good. Can y'all hear me? I want to make sure real quick. Yeah, West. Just waiting for my boy to tap in. What's up, Young Razor? What's up, David? What's up, Devious? What's poppin'? Thank y'all for tapping in. Go out smoking. What's up, big dog? What's up, Edmund? Let's get this shit going. What's up? What's up? What's up, man?
What's good? What's good? What's good? How you doing, man?
I'm good, bro. Can you hear me?
I can hear you good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro. Perfect. I can hear you perfect.
All right, man. How's your day going?
Oh, it's going good, bro.
Yeah?
Should I turn this down? Let me turn this down real quick.
I can't even hear anything. I can't hear it. I can't hear it.
Oh, sounds good, man. So what's popping, man? Now, I've been busy today, man. I was hoping to get in here a little earlier, so I start hitting everybody, letting them know.
Go ahead. I hear you one day. Yeah. So, I wrote down like a few questions that I have for you, just so that the audience, not just yours, but mine and anyone's, if they were to take a listen to who you are as a person and as an artist, what you're doing, and so forth, at least they'll have like a greater understanding of who L00 is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So if that's the first question, to answer your first question, man, I was raised in South Central out Los Angeles. That's where I grew up. Then I moved out a little bit down south in Riverside County, and my name L00, actually short for Looney Dollaz. Looney. Yeah. So I took the LO, L00. I used to flip it like that, LOONW, when I started rapping. So it started sticking, you know what I mean? So that's where the name came from. And I've been grinding out here for a little while. First introduction to music, I started out freestyling in the street, probably like a lot of dudes, you know what I mean? And and I met Gangsta Drayster, and if anybody knows hip hop and knows West Coast rap, Gangsta Drayster, came up with Eazy-E, and when he had one of the biggest diss records of all time, you know what I mean? And But back to his music, I met him as a youngster around 16, 17, and we used to freestyle, go back, and I didn't really know that I was gonna be doing this, you know what I mean, after that.
Yeah.
But when we were freestyling one night, he was like, "Yo, you need to drop that shit on wax." And I was
Yep.
like, "Yeah." I was like, "Damn!" What? And at the time, I didn't even know what wax meant because I never been in the studio or anything like that. So
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
what is wax? What's that? And he's like, "Man, you need to record that shit on in the studio. You need to record it on the mic and all that." I'm like, "Oh, for word?" I was like, "Yeah, that's what's up." So I started going back, and so I was already in the street. I was doing my thing, so that was what my main focus was at the time.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I never focused on music. That just stood in the back of my head. I just used to like to freestyle.
The
Then
freestyle.
yeah, so then I started so then I dip and dabble, start messing around in the street, ended up getting locked up. I got out, ended up going right back. So I
How
did
much
it,
time did
I
you
did
do? How much time did you do in the window?
man,
Sorry for
all
cutting you off.
um at 14 I got locked up when for one of the homies from the neighborhood, and I went ahead and just took that rap, and I had got out when I was like 15. And actually, I got right out. That was the first time I was locked up, and I
Yeah.
messed up, and then they sent me right back for like another year. So altogether, that was when I was a youngster, and then when I started coming into a young man, I had a couple run-ins with the law, and then I ended up, what's up, Night Out? Oh, Night Out tapping in. So I started, I got out. I did like 2 terms in prison, and
Yeah.
I was still young. I was still young. So about that time, I already got like 4 years under me. 4 years and some change or whatever. And at about 21, 22, 23, all my boys started rapping, or people that I knew in the city. So when I was
Yeah.
like coming out, everybody, MySpace was out. I think Facebook was just starting,
I remember those
and
days.
yeah, so I was like, and when I would like come out and start mingling, on a Friday, Saturday night in my own stomping grounds, they were like, "Hey man, I heard you can rap," and I'm like, "How the fuck you hear this? I barely met this person." And they're like, "Oh, your boy, somebody that you know was talking about it on MySpace." I'm like, "What the fuck is MySpace?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, so it started like that. So I didn't know, like, from the time I left and the time I came back, the internet and the social media just started, and it started picking up.
Taking off.
So people
Yeah.
so people were going back and forth with some of my family, some of my other people and stuff. So it's like I never really thought about it like that. So at the same time, and then I had freestyled when I was at a party when I was young, like about 18. That was like my first performance. You know what I mean? I did it in a hood party in Lake Elsinore. We had dudes from San Diego that were signed at the time,
Yeah.
and we had some dudes from Inland Empire, and we're like 3 dudes from LA, and they're like, "Hey man, I heard you can rap." I was like, they're like, "Why don't you represent for us?" So I went out there and I did my thing. So
No
then,
doubt. No doubt.
but then again, I was still, caught up in that street life. And then so when I kind of grew up from that, I had a couple kids when I got out. I was like, you know what, let me go ahead and take care of my business. Start taking care of my business.
Mm-hmm.
And like I
Mm-hmm.
said, everybody else was online. So I hooked up with my one partner, man. This is how it all started. Later on, I met Tyrese's brother, Tyrese the actor.
Tyrese.
Yes, yeah, Tyrese the actor from Transformers and Fast and the Furious. Well,
Wow. Wow. So you're
his older
connected.
brother, yeah, his older brother, and his family used to, live somewhat my way. And my boy wanted me to go to the studio one time, and that's where I met him. And this is years ago. This is way years ago in the beginning of my little, journey. And
Yeah. Yeah.
his brother's a producer, actor, rapper, singer. You know what I mean? And he actually did the first movie. And he actually did the first movie, and his name's June. He goes by June. His rap name's June Leon. His real name is Tyrone Gibson. and which is
Okay.
Tyrese's brother, his real brother. They're like a year apart or whatnot. And his brother did he was the first one that did a movie. To be honest with you, it was like a blockbuster movie. If you remember Blockbuster, you
Yeah,
know
I remember those days.
Hollywood Video, Hollywood Video, and all that. Well,
Yeah.
that's where he got started. And I got it's called All or Nothing, and you guys can check it out online. It's called All or Nothing, starring I don't know what the other co-stars. I think that one girl from Baby Boy,
Oh,
Taraja P or
Taraji.
Taraji. Well,
Yeah.
she's on that movie with him. That was, I think, one of her first movies.
Oh, yeah. You're right. You're right about that. I think I've seen that already. Yeah, yeah, that's true. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So I tapped in with him. He had his own studio, and I used to just rap all over the place. I would have lyrics like a Bible, you know what I mean? Just written left and right, just a whole backpack. I would just write. Here's my hook, here's that, but it wasn't formatted. It was like how I would rap it. And he was like, "Hey man, so where's the hook?" He's like, "This is a 16 bar and this is an 8 bar hook." And I'm like, "Whoa, what is that?" Like, I was a pupil. I was new to it. I was like, I just need to know the time I come in and the time I punch out. My bad. So I just
It's
need to
all
know
good.
the time in and the time I punch out. And he said, he's like, "Nah, we're gonna need a 16. We're gonna need this. We're gonna need that, right?" So I said, "All right, cool. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna sit down with you, and we're gonna we're gonna figure this out." So right when he told me that, we just sat there right off top. Let me hold on. I want to make sure we right. We still right here, right?
Yeah, we good. We good. We good.
Okay, cool. And what he wanted to do was he wanted to teach me writing in bars. So he was teaching me the 4 count and what, right? And I picked up on it because I understood it. I just didn't have anybody explain it to me.
I
Tyrese
understand.
Tyrese's brother did, and from there we were just grinding. We started performing. I had a performance out in San Diego. We headlined and started meeting people. And then he got locked up, and then I started. So I was left with like no studio. I went and visit the homie,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he's like, "Hey, do what you got to do, man. Keep grinding." So then I would just start networking myself, and everybody knew that I was already dibbing and dabbing. Everybody knew that I knew that I was working out here, and so then I
Yeah.
started reaching out because they always was reaching in. They were always, "Hey man, what's
Coming
up?"
inside.
Yeah, yeah, what's up, So I was like, "All right, let me." Yeah, so then I was left out to the boondocks by myself, So started networking with people, and
Yep.
met a cat, and then I met this other cat at work. So I was going to different studios, and every time I went in, I just had my game straight. I was ready to go, and I was one take 'em, Jake 'em. I was just going there, knock it out. Track two, bang it out, ad lib it, let's ad
Okay.
lib it, let's double it, let's do the dubs, and it was
Okay.
done. So I go in there and I never play around when it comes to the studio time. I always go in there and I'm ready to work. And
That's how it
after,
should be, man. That's how it
what's
should
up,
be,
my boy?
especially as an artist,
Low
man.
Pro just tapped in. What's up, Royalty?
Salute. Salute.
Oh, so like you were saying, were you saying
No,
something?
I was saying, like when it comes to especially engineers and producers that are looking to work with artists, right? It's always important for the artist to at least practice before, or at least have some form of training before going in, because
Yeah,
you don't get their time. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
and then you want to have it resonated with you a little bit when you deliver it. You don't want to sound like you're reading off the paper. As long
Exactly. It has to come.
some Yeah, and some people got the gift. That's why sometimes a lot of people write it down before they go in, or a lot of people freestyle, right? And the
Yeah.
delivery's there. Maybe they had it, memorized before, but a lot of
Remember.
people they freestyle these days, and then so the delivery's on point, and if they're doing it on a good, what do you call it, microphone, they could go back in there in a good studio. They could go back there and dub it and all that, and make it sound like that a lot thicker, because a lot of times, what we had it back in the days was, a lot of people reverbed it. A lot of people, we used to record on I used to record on an 8-track when I started. Cassette tape.
Oh, yeah. Those are like finished right now. Those are not
hooked up to a burner. We used to have it hooked up to a burner. Like, that's how we would get down, and then we would burn our CD after that. Like, and then when we used to dub it, you had to dub it all the way through. You had to dub it all the way through.
Sorry, bro. Edmund is high. See, bro. Salute. What's going on, bro? What's good?
That's
Go
what's
ahead,
up, man. So you had to spit it all the way through, and so if you were to spit your verse, you had to spit your verse. Then if you wanted to dub it, you had to spit your verse again, exactly on point, matching up. Because if you slip up a little bit, you could tell, right? Exactly. And that's where that natural reverb came from. And then after that, you would dub go over your words if you wanted to, have your words a little punchy, and then like a little loose is what you would call it, and then you would ad lib it, and then you would ad lib it, and then you'd be done, and then you would have to do your chorus and all that. So you only had so many tracks that you had to work in, so it wasn't like 16, 20, 30, 60 tracks. You didn't have that.
No, not. The things back then were such a struggle than what it is today, especially with technology and the way how it's running in now. It makes it a lot easier for you to do anything. You don't even have to realistically with studio now. You can do it in the comfort of your own home. And you just have to bring a laptop, have like some decent speakers if you want, and then you can just record, dub,
and make it happen. Yeah, exactly. Make it happen right at the house, and then they'll probably deliver it well and feel comfortable at home. That's why a lot of I don't knock no home studios. I got one myself, and I know you got one. I know you got one. And then backtracking a little bit after I started working with Tyrese's brother a little bit. I started grinding out here on the West for myself, and put together a project, and then we started performing everywhere. And then my kids start growing up. To fast forward a little bit, but I always stayed relevant by staying in the studio, always dropping some singles, dropping, some stuff on iTunes, or dropping a mixtape on DatPiff or something, and I've had support, I got supported by a lot of the OGs in the game out here in the Cali, I got, just to drop a few, like, let's just say like Mellow Man Ace, he was relevant way back when, he started Spanglish rap. He started Spanglish rap. He supports me, throws me DMs here and there, like, keep it pushing.
I wanted to ask you something, right? Like, do you have anyone that you consider your mentor? Like, do you have somebody like in your corner that you look up, who's looking out for you to say, hey, you know what? I see you're doing X, Y, Z. I don't think you should do B and C. You should do, you know what I'm saying? So do you have?
You know what? Not really, because all my homework came from just studying the greats. Studying all the people that I feel that are great artists and great producers out here. And so globally, my top three, what, artist or producer?
Both, actually. Let's start off with artists first.
My top three artists, and this is based off because it's probably they were influential on my career so far.
That's good. That's what we want to hear.
That's what you want to hear? So first off would probably be Ice Cube.
Okay.
And I gotta say, because I studied the way he wrote. I studied the way he wrote, and the way he writes, and I'm not down talking it. I'm bigging it up. He was with the storytelling, but he didn't jump out the box. He wasn't trying to like, oh, I'm gonna kill you with the raps, because he can't kill raps. You know what I mean?
I agree.
He can't get lyrical, but what I'm saying is his main style was storytelling, and he would rhyme on the punch, and rhyme on the kick. Not the kick. I'm sorry. I keep saying that. The snare. He'd write
So good,
clap,
man.
and he would rap like that, and it was easy for me to study it and apply my own words to it, and then rhyme. So I would
Yeah.
like listen to him, go on his instrumental, and then I'll do my own thing on my side, and
Fire.
and then I would put my little words to it, where I was from, and I'd basically be redoing the Ice Cube verse, but with my lyrics. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And nobody really gives Ice Cube his flowers, and I think out here on the West Coast, he's one of the biggest pins out here. And what I mean by that, all the old school stuff that you listen to, all the stuff that you grew up on, he
Yeah.
wrote most of it. Even the artists that you like that barely came out with him, NWA and all that, he wrote a lot of them tracks. You know what I mean? And
Oh
and
yeah, yeah,
he
yeah.
and it's documented. You can check it out. You can see. You can go back on his interviews. And
Yeah, I'm gonna
Ice Cube wrote a lot of majority of it. So it's like, in music coming out of the West, where I'm at, and I'm not, I don't only listen to West Coast music. I'm just talking about the West because I'm out here, and
Yeah,
and
exactly.
so and so what I mean by Q, there's a lot of other artists coming out of here, but not that many people writing for himself and others in the rap
Okay.
game at the time. So
Okay.
so if anybody, I'm glad. I always forget who put me on it and was like, hey, listen to Q, and then go write your songs. Then listen to how he rhymes, and how he rhymes at
Yeah.
the end and keeps his storyline. Okay,
Just giving
cool.
you the blueprint. Just giving you
That's
the
that's
blueprint.
one. So that's one for me. Number two, I think would be Pop.
Tupac.
Tupac.
Why?
Tupac, hands down, because again, back to the writing. The writing and the delivery, everything that we can talk about, what creates a great song and a great track and a great album.
Yeah.
Tupac
Okay.
put all those elements in there.
Because
And
I would put Tupac also in that storytelling category as well.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like I am not gonna put him in the same space as Cube, but
yep.
in the sense of storytelling and the way how he formulates his words, his delivery, the type of music that he puts out. Whenever I hear his music, it's always in the form of like a story. You
And
know what I'm
it's
saying? So
music. And it's music.
yeah,
And he
yeah,
applies poetry and all that. But when we're talking about rap, hip hop, and all that, the reason why they label it rap all the time, because it sounds like rap. But when you do it right, and when they start calling it hip hop, when they they just want to name it. It's music after that. You know what I'm saying?
everything needs a label nowadays.
Yeah, and you can tell the difference. You know what I mean? You can tell the difference when they go in the studio, if they're making the beat themselves, if they want a music element, maybe they sample a movie. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
get those monotone, get those tones that you would hear in a movie when it starts and shit. Well,
no doubt.
that's not really a song, but those are actual people in the studio making that happen when they make a movie.
Yeah,
So there's an ear out there for music where a lot of people have, and I feel that I got the formula and the ear. I don't think I recorded my best album yet. I feel like it's coming. I feel like I made
okay.
a lot of great records. To rewind a little bit, I work with Slip Capone, which is a
Straight
platinum
to phone.
artist. Yeah, Slip Capone's a platinum artist, and he came out with Snoop and Corrupt and all that. And I got a single out on Spotify with him, and we did that in like 2013, and it dropped 2015 just because of some
Nice.
business. I couldn't get it off right away because of some business issues. Not that there was any problems with it. It was just trying to align three different entities at once was kind of it was kind of
It
difficult.
was good.
And then once I got the green light all the way, I went ahead and pushed it forward. But yeah,
Okay.
I don't got no pictures with Slip. I know Slip. He came through the studio, and it wasn't like that at first. I didn't think I wasn't gonna see him ever again. Rest in peace to Slip Capone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear
You
you.
know,
I hear you.
yeah,
So they
that was a hard one that we West Coast ran through because Flip Capone was another artist slash writer out here. You know, he influenced a lot of people.
okay.
He wrote a lot of songs for I believe for Death Row. Uh, you guys can do your homework on him. You know what I
The
mean? But
reason.
yeah, rest in peace to Slip Capone, man. Thanks for working with me. You know what I mean? He worked with me and did that
Rest in
song
peace.
and out of love and shit. And I wish the best for him and his family.
No doubt.
And being in the studio with him, taught me a lot of other things too. Delivery, different styles, and how people record. He recorded a little bit different than what I was used to, and
Okay, okay.
and I learned from it. I learned from it. He sat there, wrote his verse, kicked it. We had a whole, we got a whole like we talked about music. He played me music that wasn't released. He had music
Okay.
with a lot of people, man, people that you wouldn't even think of. In R&B. I'm talking about legends. And I don't want to name drop completely. I don't know too much, about the business side of it, but a lot of it didn't
Yeah.
get released. A lot of it didn't get released, and I could have sworn like he had a song with like I want to say Sade in them. You know what I mean? But I could be wrong. I could be mixing up the artist with like him or her or Whitney or whatever. But there was somebody up there. He was working with like Bobby Brown.
Oh
He
wow.
worked with a
So
lot of
then,
people.
so then, would you put him? It's that to me. It just sounds as if he would be something like your mentor, right? Somebody who actually.
Somebody I guess I was looking up to at the time because
Yeah.
and he was willing to work with me, and he kept checking back in on tapping in with me. After we did the track, you know, um,
Yeah.
we could probably put him at number three. You know what I mean? Because think about it. I think I'm picking that because what you just said right now,
Mhm.
I should pick him. So I'm not
It
gonna let
makes it
this
makes sense to me.
I'm not gonna let this opportunity pass up and say, "Damn, I didn't pick him." You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
um, I never really name drop too much. But this is an interview. You know what I mean? This is where it all comes out.
No
And
doubt. No doubt.
I could have been doing a lot of different things at the time. When I started out, I could have been signed to a couple of other labels. I turned a couple of offers down, and
Well,
through my
wait. Let's pause for a sec. Let's pause for a sec. So you said that because it's not common for like local artists or artists in general, people across the board, like across the world, whereas opportunities come their way. It's always the artists looking out or reaching out to others, trying to find like somebody that will actually listen to them.
yeah.
Not, not just forget the listening, just to even meet with them. So for me to hear that people were coming to you and were actually giving you offers just so you can be within this industry and try to make a name for yourself on another
Yep.
level,
Yep.
why would you turn any of them down? And could you name drop those? I'm not going to put you on the spot. I'm just saying
Yeah.
something. It's I've never heard that in a long time. That's what.
It goes on a lot in this industry. You know what I mean? A lot of people are not built for this, and to not even get too technical because that's a whole different conversation. But
Yeah.
this industry is crazy. You know what I mean? And I feel like if you're ready for it, you know, depending on who you want to work with, some people are live by different standards. You know what I'm saying?
I hear
And
you. I
and
hear you.
and and you can work with people business wise. You know, maybe business will make you work with that person, but in real life, would you probably work with that person? You probably wouldn't.
No, no.
So, I respected a lot of people that that I was trying to work with, and a couple of labels, like one label wanted me to change my sound a little bit. You know, they were more of a Mexican label, which is fine. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Those are my people, and they love my music. I spit for them live. You know what I mean? And when it came down to the conversations, I started working with Tyrese's brother at the time already. So at the
Okay.
time, I was ready to get in the lab and drop an album, and they wanted me to do some stuff which I probably would have did already, but it was just for the reason that they said, hey, I want you to do this kind of song for this. I want you to do this kind of
Yeah.
song for that. I got turned off right away. Um,
But
that
the
that
thing is,
that
right?
instant, that
But
instant.
the thing is, you're given an opportunity to finally make it, right?
Yeah,
Why turn down something whereas you know that it could
yeah,
take you there? So here's
I,
my thing, right? Why not take on, I guess, like take on the change that they're trying to recommend for you to do, and then somewhere down the line, you could pretty much switch it up.
yeah,
Like we've seen artists nowadays, right? They have, they start off with a particular genre, and then after years down the line, either when their contract is over or whatever the case may be, they just simply change and they start doing whatever it is that they want to do. Have you thought about that
yeah,
before?
yeah, 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 yeah. No, I know what you mean. Why would you pass up an opportunity? Sometimes I think because you ain't seen the money right away. A lot of people ain't seen the money, and it's coming.
Yeah.
Um, but I think going back to, I feel like everything that I did, I jumped in right before like Instagram and all that got big. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like
Yeah.
just from me, just from my reputation on the street before I got into music, like I was telling you, I was in and out of jail and stuff, and I was out here in the street all over the place out in California, and then when I got locked up, that didn't help. I just went and met a lot more people. So when it got into the music side, a lot of people, and I started performing with the, what I already said a little while back,
Yeah.
and things started to grow at that point. And I feel like right when it came online, I already had the support from before it was online. You know, we
Okay.
just start. My whole approach, we're printing out flyers, we're printing out this. So I feel like everything I was doing was all self-made. I promoted my own stuff. I was throwing my own shows at one point.
What
Getting
about
my own.
collabing?
I was collabing with a lot of artists. I got a lot of projects out there with a lot of artists that you might have heard. Name a couple. I got one with this dude named Million Dollar. You can check him out online. He got some
Yeah.
stuff online, and then he got a lot of collabs. He's got his own group. He's connected to a whole lot of stuff. You got, if you guys check it out, I got stuff. So, some dude, just to throw a random homie out. His name's Armageddon. Armageddon Myers. Have you
Okay.
guys ever heard of? I don't know if you haven't heard of him. Go check him out. Armageddon Myers, and I think he goes by Sean Anthony Taylor or whatever. But I got a project with him, and it's
Okay.
doing pretty well. He's worked with a lot of people too, and so I've always been working out here. Like you can Google it. You guys can check me out at L and it's all over the place. You guys just got to continue to search, and then search a different web browser. Different web browser besides just Google. Just search from a different web browser. Internet Explorer and all that, and some different pages will pop up. Follow the music. See the timeline. See where I'm at today. Where I'm
Yeah.
in a whole different place. I'm more mobiled up. I got my own label, my own music. I'm looking for artists and talent right now. But now it's a whole different ball game. See, before, like I wanna finish answering your question though about the label. So
Yeah.
for that first one, the changing my style at that point was because uh, the Mexican label that I went to was called Boulevard Records, and
Boulevard Records.
Boulevard
Okay.
Records, and you guys can check them out. They've been around out here for a long time. They worked with a lot of homies out here in California.
I see
Worked
it.
with a lot more Mexicans, and what happened was I was there, right, and I grew up in that place. I've been to that place where they do conduct business, and I happened to be right there. So family already was like, "Hey, you need to hit this spot, whatever." So I checked this place out. They're selling CDs or whatnot,
Yeah.
and told him that I could spit, and I spit, and he gave me his number. you know, and shout out to the dude, you know, there's no problem with the guy. We just go different ways, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. Okay. Okay.
And so they and him, his wife was there, somebody that was working with him, and I had the whole crowd. I mean, I had people stopping and what they were doing to check me out, and they loved it. Said that it was different, you
That's what's
know,
up.
and me coming out of LA, you know, I'm actually I'm Filipino and Mexican. So a lot
Yeah,
of
I
people
saw
that
that on your profile on the Spotify. The thing is, I was listening to your song. I listen to like most of your songs, right? I'm riding
yeah,
up, but there's this one song that you have, "Put Your Guns Down, Lift Up Your Sons,"
yes,
uh,
yeah,
and that's with Hardhead and Jinsu,
and Jinsu,
right?
yes.
Tell me about how you came up with that. Like, was it you alone that created that song? Was it a combination of the three of you that came
Uh,
together?
that
Because
that
when I heard the
project,
song, it's actually because one of my questions was going to be revolving around if you had any songs that's revolving around anything political,
yes.
or anything that's relevant to this day,
I
right?
think that's exactly on point. It was going on at the time I wrote it, and
Yeah.
it was a spur of the moment written song though. I wrote it on the spot, and
Yeah.
I can tell you what happened about that day too. It's
Please.
crazy that you're. It's funny that you brought that track up. It's a great track. If you guys ain't heard
Yeah.
it, like you said, you guys need to go check it out. What happened with this track is I was a little busy that morning, got up. I knew I had the studio session ready to go. All right. And studio hit me up. I let them know I was getting down there, hung up. So I started getting ready and I started letting my, you
Mhm.
know, like I started getting in my zone to
Okay.
create, you know, and a lot of times I go off of emotion, you know, how I'm feeling at the time, what I'm
That's the best.
doing,
Yeah.
what I'm doing, you know, what I see if I'm driving and something inspires me on the way to the studio sometimes.
That's gonna make it most creative.
It could be a billboard, it could be a movie, it could be a store I pass by. You know, that's what
Yeah.
inspires me. You know, so on the way there, since like I said, I was so busy, usually I come prepared with written, you know, ideas, just so I could have a fallback plan and come out with some tracks.
Right.
So I made it there and I was like, you know, I'm going scratch. I said, give me a minute. I've been a little busy. I told my boy Hardhead, give me a minute. And he gave me that minute. I got myself right. I rolled up a couple blunts. We start talking a
Okay.
little bit. You know, I don't know if what I was drinking. I might have been drinking some soda at the time. And started talking with him and I was like, all right, let's get this beat percolating, you know, and then he started messing with the beat. I don't know if he had the loop yet, but I know it wasn't even made all the way. It might have been at the beginning stages when I walked
Okay.
in, or he created it right as we were talking.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
all I know is I was like, you know, I like that drum. Go back to that one. Ooh, that's a sick ass snare. Keep that one. You know, so
Yeah.
and I don't stop. I'll be rapping in your ear the whole time in the studio, you know. And he had a shirt on the wall, and it
Okay.
said, "Put down your guns, pick up your sons," or it was something like that. It was something. It was
Put
like
your guns down with
put
your
your guns
sons.
down, something, and they were doing something with that. That shirt meant something too. It was like a movement that they already had going on, or something like that.
Yeah.
So I went in there and saw that on the wall. Lyrics just started coming to me, and at that time, you know, a couple of brothers and a couple of brown brothers too had got shot by the cops. You know what I mean, and got taken out. So I remember that, and I don't know if that's what inspired it, but as I was writing,
Yeah.
it was like, okay, I'm doing this. That's it. So I went in there and I was like, I like I said, I got it. I was in good spirits. I was a little busy, so I had to, you know, collect myself at the studio. So I went there, rolled up a couple, chilled out, started smoking. I was like, all right, let's start. So now I'm cool. So then we
Yeah.
started. So then we started. The beat started coming up. I saw that thing on the wall, and I started, playing some lyrics in my head, and I came up with the chorus. And it was supposed to be actually "Put Your Guns Down." Um, uh, it was supposed to be a little bit different, but
Okay. Okay.
with
Okay.
that, but that's the name we went with. And I feel that it was good. It was a little long, but I feel like when people tap into it, they're not gonna forget it,
Yeah.
And
No, it was a good song, and actually, especially because of the climate now. We have the Black Lives Matter thing going on. We got the LGBT thing going on. Then we have the Donald Trump with the Joe
yeah, and a
Biden.
lot of and a lot of them are senseless. We gotta be smart out here. You gotta these guys that are cops. And I'm not speaking up for them. I'm just saying it because I was out there in the street, and a
Yeah.
lot of people are running around scared. And if it just so happened to be that cop's scared too. And
Facts.
yeah, that's messed up. That's something that is hard to wing through. You don't put "Are you scared" on the application. You know what I mean? They don't know until they're in those situations. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? But and they make fucked up decisions. You know what I'm saying? And that's a fact. And
Yeah.
I know but we gotta be smarter. Like, okay, this is how they're gonna perceive us, or we already gotta be thinking ahead. But it's messed up. We have to do that. But you know, um, just to be smart out here, just in case some couple of my people are tapping in, I want them to know that I'm gonna give them the real, and you got to be smart out here. You got to play it like like that might happen. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're a minority or you're anywhere, not right. You know what I'm saying? If you're just out of
That's good.
place, even if you're just out
That's
of
good.
place, you know what I mean? Out of town, it's not gonna work. You
That's
know what I
good.
mean? And that track again is so powerful because I lost my boy talking about that night that I recorded it. I lost my friend to the same scenario out in Florida, and you can look it up. It was just some artist just featured it on. Who's that person that did that one song, and it went pretty viral, and he flashed pictures of every person that died within the past 2 years. What artist? He's a famous artist out of New York, I think.
I can't remember,
It
bro.
it'll
I
come to me.
remember.
It'll come to me. It was like a big artist, and I just saw it the other day, and he mentioned my boy Dominic Fuller out in Florida. You guys can check it out online. It's on YouTube. He lost his life when I was recording that song, and
Okay.
and
Sorry to
and
hear
he
about
was
that.
and he was my childhood friend when he was living back in California, and we've been in those same scenarios that he was in that night. I've been in that same scenario with him, and it could have went that way that night, but you know
Sorry to hear.
God willing that I made it out that night, and then look at years later, he gets in that same kind of scenario, and bam, he lost his life. So I know I felt like I was in the car with him. I felt like I was
Oh,
running down
wow.
the street because when I read the story, I've been in that same scenario with him on the street, so I
Yeah.
know him. I know him
Yeah.
from that. I know him from that atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
to read the story and listen to what the cops said online that he came out with a stapler or something like that, and then they shot him. They already had shot
Yeah.
him. You got to look up the story, man. And what happened
Yeah.
was
Tell me the name of it. Tell me the
his name
name.
is Dominic Fuller,
Yeah.
Fuller, and it was out of Florida. And you could probably look it up as "man gets killed over stapler" or something, or a
Oh, I
staple
see that
gun.
right here. I see that. I
Yeah,
see that.
that's my childhood friend right there, man. And they killed him out there, bro. And if you just listen to the whole story, it seems like, to be honest with you, that stapler that they found him with, he was probably trying
Yeah.
to staple up his wounds when he closed the door and he went back in the RV.
Oh.
You know what I mean? You're if you're bleeding and there's a
Yeah.
stapler right there.
Yeah. You just think immediately as to whatever's close to you and try to just look for it.
Yeah, yeah. I really, really don't believe that he ran out with the stapler at that point. You know, I know my boy. He might have did a lot of things, but he would have ran out, and that's about it. You know what I mean? He's not. You know, I know him really good, and he's not stupid. He's smart. So I feel
That
like
always happens, though, man. That always happens. It's like a story happens in the news, and there's always that someone that's like you, for example, who already knows the actual stuff that actually happened at the time because you know what I'm saying you were there. Versus the bull crap that the police can actually conspire on their end. They could spin it so that it can be in their favor, so that it wouldn't
yeah,
come to a point where they get a charge, right?
and that's been going on for a long time, and it's I'm
Yeah,
sorry, it's a war or battle that we're not gonna win. You know, I'm just gonna flat out tell the people out here. It's just I'm not saying not to fight. I'm not saying not to be strong, but be smart. That's all I gotta say. Just be smart. You know what I
yeah,
mean? You know, you
definitely.
gotta be strategic out here. You gotta win in a different way. You know, you gotta push in a different manner. You know,
That's true.
that's what it's about because you know, anytime you start doing something and it starts getting recognition, like I feel like what's going on right now, I'm just now getting a lot of, getting some of my flowers, right now, from all the hard work I've been doing all these years. You know what I mean? Right now, it's starting to
Yeah,
come to the full front. And now that I built a little, it's a small catalog, but now that I built the time out here and getting to know the right people,
yeah,
I feel that I got a good stance out here, and with being who I am, growing up in LA, like I said, I'm Filipino and Mexican, and I grew
yeah.
up in the hood out there, and I was from a Mexican hood, so you know what comes with that. And for me to switch out and come just to do straight hip hop, straight music, that's a big thing to speak to my people. Like, you can go and do something, different. It doesn't have to be what you're used to, because when I
Yeah.
started coming up, I was listening to all the legends, all the Mexican legends, all the West Coast legends. I was listening to everything that was coming out of California to
Yeah,
New York. To New York is what I grew up on. I grew up listening to everybody.
I think
And
we all do that.
so then mixing in my own flavor, being that I'm from South Central on the street. When if you a street dude, there's a certain lingo in the street. You know what I mean? So that's why
Yes. Yeah.
there's a big thing about, a lot of people being mad at, like, Mexicans using the N word, Mexicans being mad at people using the N word, and I get it. It's for being politically correct. I don't I don't say it on the record myself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
To
yeah.
be politically correct, so I can still have that respect for everybody I work with. Now,
No doubt.
do I not say it amongst people that I'm comfortable with, that are really
Of
my
course.
boys? You know what I mean? Or and I never grew up or hung out with just one shade of color. Anyways, I was always in the mix. I was always a roamer.
Yeah.
I was always that person that just was here for a little minute and I dipped out, and I had another group of friends. I had so many friends.
Yeah.
I don't even know how I committed to one. I don't even know how I committed to one side. You know what I'm
No
saying? I was
doubt.
so
No
I was
doubt.
so universal with everybody.
No
Now
doubt.
now, like I said, going back to South Central and how we used to kick it, when you're in the street and when you're out in the street, you hustling, you're doing your thing, you grinding out there, there's a certain lingo. And if you listen to a lot of people from South Central, they got a certain tone. If it's not a deep tone, it's really like my raspy voice. It's more like, I don't know what it is, but it's more like my voice. And I'm not saying I got it, I'm the only one. I'm saying other people, their slang, the way
It's
they
similar.
drag, it's similar. There's a lot of artists out here like Mac Lucci. um, the only one that sounds different, is more old school, is like Dove C from South Central, and like
Ah,
Ice
yeah.
and like Ice Cube. But you listen to G Perico, you listen to me, you listen to Mac Lucci, just to name a few, just us three. Listen to
Yeah.
Nipsey. Nipsey is another one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, think of their voice right now. These artists that I just put out, and my voice. It's got a certain something to it.
Yeah. It's the thing is, I can always tell whenever I listen to a song if it's from LA, if it's from Atlanta, if it's from New York, if it's from Toronto, where I'm from. Like you can always tell based off of the accent, the lingo, the way how they speak, and so forth. So when I hear you, when I hear Nipsey, and I hear Ice Cube, you guys all sound like you're from LA because you guys talk the same.
Yep. And then us three, you just named the three. We're in the heart of LA. See, it's hard to say LA, LA for people to understand. You know, South
Yeah.
Central, there's Central Avenue that comes from downtown LA that goes all the way through Los Angeles. Right in the middle, it's called Central Avenue, right? Now, what's going on is though halfway down is called South Central, so it's South Central of that street, right?
Yeah.
But it's in the heart of LA, so the city is called Los Angeles. We're in LA County, but we're the city of Los Angeles, right? That's our area.
Okay.
And there's all these neighborhoods in different cities and valleys and harbor areas and valleys, like I was saying, all the way
Yeah.
around us. They're still part of the county, but they're not part of this. They're not really LA City. Now, South
Okay.
Central got their name, but if you look at South Central on the map of LA, if you zoom into the county, South Central is actually in the middle. It's like right smack in the middle. So everywhere,
Okay.
so like Orange County, the next county over is far. Long Beach, that's far for us. Pomona, that's far for us. That it's really that far. You know what I mean? It's
Okay.
everything's far
Okay.
because if you're young growing up and you're not even 21 yet, let's just say you're not even 21 yet, you're just growing up in the hood, you ain't making it out that far. That's why a lot of people don't make it out of there. You know what I mean? We're
Yeah.
just, like I said, even the beach is far. It's not too far. Like I said, if you're a little bit older, you've been pushing to the beach a couple times and you smash out there. But but it's still like just if you live in LA, it still takes you like 45 minutes to get it there, 30 minutes. It's
I
not
feel
just down
you.
the street like a lot of people think. A lot of people we're stuck in the middle. So like I said, there's a lot of there's a different kind of sound out there and a lot of people don't speak on it. And that's why I like to speak on a lot of music on the music side because um I that's the homework I talk about,
Okay.
who comes out of what. And I just name a certain part of LA. I just named you some of the artists so you can go back and check them out. And then when you do, you'll know exactly what I mean. You're like, you know what? They do have a certain style, even though we all have our own style.
Yeah.
As much as we want to change it, it's just our environment, the way we grew up. We went to the same schools. We went to the same parks, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And then, when I was coming to a little later, I moved out to Inland Empire, which is Riverside County out in Southern California out here. And the way they rap is like they're a lot more MCs to me. A lot more. They're a lot more. Hey, babe, will you get my charger real quick? And so they what they do is they paint metaphors and all that. They're really into the lyrics. Out here,
Okay. Okay.
and that's kind of like where I feel like I inherited everything from LA, and then the mix out here in this other part of Southern California I live at. I didn't purposely do it, but I know I mixed the two, and that's what I came up with, and that's a part of how I start rapping. You know what I mean? And that everybody's always said it. When I'll be up in the mix rapping with a lot of LA dudes, I was kicking it a little different. When I was out here in IE, I was kicking it a little different. You know what I mean? And all I did was
Yeah.
apply both elements. But there's a lot of people got it mixed up. A lot of people think uh, rappers are rappers and MCs are MCs, right? But let me put you on some real game real quick. And you probably know this, but again, nobody touches these bases real quick. When you're a rapper and people are MCs, some people are like they identify themselves like I'm an MC, I'm not a rapper. You know what I mean? Some people like, yeah, I guess I'm a rapper. I don't kick it like that, whatever. But
Yeah.
the definition of an MC is like keeping the party hype.
That's
It's
right.
the host. It's the host. It's all this other crap, right?
That's
It
right.
means nothing what MC means today. Now,
No.
now, if you look at a rapper, everything they say about a rapper, oh, he only raps. Everything that they do. Let's just say a rapper, 50 Cent, right? Everything he raps about, that's what an MC is. Gets the party going. He got that hype
Yeah.
music. That's what an MC really is, man. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
but
saying?
the MC is the sole controller of the entire actual audience, right? That's to me, that's an MC.
Yeah, but it's a
You know what
thin
I'm
line if they're great at it. Some people it's a downfall because I feel like some people because they couldn't keep it up with the rappers, they couldn't keep up with freestyling in the storylines because it's cool. Like it's always cool on a rap level. MC's cool, like meaning oh you killed this rap and all that. That's cool, but on a music and dropping real tracks and all that, that
saying?
that's
Yeah,
not always the best. It's key, and if it's good and it's done right, but then what do? You go back to the same formula that a regular person would do, approach a song to make it great.
facts, facts.
MCs can be great if they stick to the format, if they stick to the song that they're talking about. Some MCs are a rap, they're a beast, they're an alien, they're a goblin, all in one verse, all in one verse. This
Yeah,
is
that's
one
true.
verse we're talking about. Okay, now let's put substance involved. Okay, you were a goblin, a goon, a monster, this, a that, all in one verse. Okay, what's the story? What's behind that? Okay, you're a goblin,
Yeah,
you're this, you're that. Cool. How did you become that? So
it's true.
so
It's true.
so so a lot of people you think in this industry are like a lot bigger than us because they got like a million views, right? Now you can walk in the town that I'm in the suburbs. I live in the suburbs. I'm living good right now. And you can walk in one of these places and they won't even know who the hell this one person that we're praising online, liking their music, they don't respond back. You get what I'm saying,
Yeah,
right?
I hear you on that. That's
And,
like a normal thing, man.
and then they go into the same grocery market that you're mobbing in. Now one person knows you. Now tell me how big is he? This is a big world. You know what I mean? This is a big ass world. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
and and that's why I think this following, the likes and all that. It's all built for popularity, obviously, right? Now, when you do the groundwork over a long period of time, you put the work in, it's gonna come back.
eventually it's gonna pay.
It's bound to come back, and that's where we
Eventually,
stand. We're lucky that we're not those ones that get a hit, crack off the way to the top, and it was like your first, second song only, and
yeah,
and you never really resonated in the studio, really learned your craft, and then now you can't even produce another great record, and you fall off, and you're a one-hit wonder. And how many
yeah, it's a
times
bad
that
thing.
and that happens 90% of the year, every year. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of them that are popping right now and stuff. Watch next year, they're not going to be popping. There's only going to be one out of the
But
10.
look at look at what's happening right now, right? Over like to me, when it comes to the music that happened between let's say 2000 and now, every year there's like somebody new that was popping out, but I don't remember none of them besides Ludacris. And I'm sure there's others. I can't think of anything right now. But every year you would see that somebody comes out with one hit and then they're just forgotten about. But the only people that resonated throughout history to this day, Q, Pop,
Yep. Yep.
Jay-Z, like all the top artists, right? All these guys are
Yeah.
still their music is still resonating to this day because they had a formula, they had something back then
You
that
said it
we're
right
not doing
there.
to
You
this
said
day.
it right there. It's the formula. And and not a lot of people know what that is, man. And it's a real thing that goes on in the studio, and it's something that can get rubbed off on. It's
Mhm.
something that you can learn from somebody. It's something that you can teach just by being in the studio, because
Yeah.
you might have been around it before. Not a lot of people got it. I've been in the studio, and I'm telling you, this formula I'm talking about, there's people that just ain't got it. And I didn't have it at one point, but I feel like I always had the passion for it. But once I really started getting in the studio,
I was
go
gonna
ahead.
ask, sorry to cut you off, but I was gonna ask, like, as an artist, because you are talking along those lines, right? Like, what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses?
Strengths and weaknesses with music and writing
Yeah,
and recording. Um,
everything.
my my weakness right now is because I'm thinking for the long period of like my catalog. I feel like I pay attention to be a great recording artist, and that should you don't do always the cool shit all the time.
Yeah,
It's not always the best, title that people want to hear right now. It's not always a club song, stuff like that. I feel like hinders me a little bit, and that I feel like that's a weakness. But again, and now let's turn it around, because my strength is just that. It's my weakness is my strength too, because it's like, because I know that, it makes me take this music stuff very seriously,
that's good.
and
That's good.
it makes me approach every song like it's gonna be now. I don't put out everything I used to record. I did at one point. I got a
Yeah, you
lot of
can't do that.
songs.
Gotta
I
keep
was
moving
just doing that at first. I remember uploading from number one to like 45 or something. I don't remember. I lost count. And then I
forward.
recorded like another 50, and I don't know how many I got under my belt, but I've done a lot. But the studio time that I got
And
is
the
is
princess for
what,
sure.
yeah, it's the studio time. What's up, everybody? And it's the studio
Sorry,
time
man. Sorry
that
for
you
cutting you off.
get better. Nah, you got to tap in. You got to tap in with the people, man. And if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be doing it, man. And
That's it. Facts.
so shout out to them, and everybody hanging out at home during this pandemic. But back to this music, that's my strength, man.
Yeah.
Is that I approach this music very seriously, and what I leave behind is going to be great. Whether it cracks the surface from here to Australia, whether and I get plays out there. I know people out there, but what I'm trying to say is, like, on a public stance, if it goes that big, or somebody I work with, did something that big, I feel like I would have accomplished what I'm going for.
Okay. I was gonna ask you about that. I was gonna ask you about that because in this climate right now, how we got going on. You see, I have the mask on and how we gotta
Yep.
stay 6 feet away and so forth. But see, in Toronto, a lot of the stores and the businesses they're not open, right? So we don't have access to a lot of things. So out in LA, when it comes to performances and meeting people or networking or trying to get your rap career on an elevation mode, how has that affected you? And are you doing anything right in this time to have some sort of like an end goal by the end of this year? Like, do you have,
Yeah.
you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I got goals, and let me rewind. I feel like the playing grounds even right now for everybody in the industry right now. Because everybody's at home. Now everybody's wondering everything that I've been talking about all these years, to all my people that I've recorded with. If anybody had tapped in, or they play this video back, because we're gonna document this video. Um, all these people that I'm talking about, that didn't pay attention to these things. Now, now they got no shows. Now they're back
Yeah,
online promoting themselves like how we're doing right now. They're going
exactly.
online. The biggest thing popping right now is podcast and versus TV right now.
Yep.
That versus.
Yep.
Other than that, there ain't nothing happening. from
That's
here
it.
to where you're at, Canada. Ain't
Yeah.
none popping from here to there, and I feel that, like I said, the playing ground is even, or the battlefield is
Even.
even.
I was saying that too.
Yeah, and everybody has the opportunity to do what everybody else is doing, which is going to work hard, record videos, drop some music, whatever it is that they do. But whether it's mixing, whether it's whatever, but it could get recognition right now. You know what I mean? A lot of people are at home viewing, and that's probably why I've been able to come on here and make those connections with Gangsta Draster again. I just had an interview with him. He invited
Yeah.
me out to his podcast, and like I said, he inspired me when I was younger. OG in the game, legend out here, and for me to have a conversation with royalty, which is a pioneer in the Chicano rap, and
That's
Gangsta
what's up.
Draster, Gangsta Draster's a pioneer in West Coast rap, so it's kind of like for me to talk to them. And then, other stuff that I haven't even mentioned, all the people, the support that I've gotten over the years, it's been keeping me to a point where, okay, I'm doing right. They're listening to the music, but before anybody else in the industry and before the whole public can really jump behind you, they got to hear it. So we got to get on the radio. If it's music, we got to get on the radio. If it's movies, we got to get on the big screen. If it's sports, it's got to be on the main ESPN. Other than that, we ain't gonna make it out here. It's good. We're all gonna
That's
be
it.
at the same level. So like
That's all.
me, you, and like people that are not on Drake level, we're all in the same game field. We're all in the same game.
So then, what is it that an artist of today could do in order for them to get to that point?
You
Because
gotta brand
it's
yourself.
hard.
You gotta keep branding. No, it's just the brand. The brand. You gotta work with people and shake other people's hand at the same time. You can't. You gotta
You
be. It's
can't
gotta
shake,
be.
you can't
It's
shake
gotta
hands
be.
anymore, remember?
Yeah, but yeah, exactly. We gotta fist pump from far away. But you gotta work with people, but you gotta treat people good out here. Because all these people are gonna be like people that you're working with right now, barely working with, that are small right now. One day, this person's gonna be not even working as an artist, and they're gonna be like some A&R at a record company. Oh, this
Yeah.
producer that you were working with is no longer a producer. He makes music for movies now, soundtracks. Oh, this person doesn't do graphic design no more. He does music videos now.
Yeah.
So,
The
so
game's changing.
my advice to the artists out here is don't give up. Stay pushing. Just because you guys ain't dropping a music video every time you drop a song, or you're not doing it, it doesn't mean that you ain't doing nothing. And that doesn't mean that nobody's
Facts.
seen it out here.
Facts.
Just because these stars are not liking your music, that doesn't mean that they ain't looking at it. Because I know firsthand. I know firsthand that I got the support, and they don't follow me. But sometimes when I drop a record and I'm posting it and I'm hashtagging it up, I see them liking it again, and
That's what's up.
it's continuous. It's not just one time. It's like they tap in again and on a new song, and so I'm just like, wow. And another one that I can tell you was Problem. You heard of Problem out in LA? Rapper
Yeah.
Problem got a
Yeah.
song with E40 and all them. Yeah, and he just had a song that was on the Versus TV. You know what I mean? And well, every time I dropped this mixtape, and I was dropping some mixtape, I think I was doing it with you, and right before you, I jumped on a couple mixtapes, and when I was posting them online, he was liking every single one,
No doubt. No
and
doubt. You got
so
some good songs, bro. No, I'm not even gonna lie. Like I'm not coming from a biased standpoint. I'm coming from like anything that I hear, I give 100% critique to the point where if I think it's garbage, bro, I'm gonna tell you it's garbage, and you should know that. I think anybody that talks to me should already know. If I hear a song and if I'm not feeling it, I'm gonna be, yo, bro,
yeah, or you'll
you
give your
think about
input.
that.
You'll give your input. That's for sure.
Yeah,
You definitely, but it doesn't ever. It probably wouldn't even come off as hate. I
no,
think you would, like you say, you would criticize it like a critic, but at the same time, you wouldn't be a dick about it. I think you would like,
No,
you'd be what is that called when where somebody can get something from it?
it's like I know what you're saying. What's the word?
How they can make it better or something, or
Criticism. I forget what it is. I forget
but
what
you
it's
know what I
called.
mean
But I
though.
know
You
what
know
you're
what I mean
saying.
though. That like that's the kind of way that you would talk to
Constructive
them about it.
criticism.
Yeah,
Constructive criticism. Yeah.
exactly. Constructive criticism. So
Yeah.
I feel like that's the route that you would go in, and but thanks for that, man, because like I said, I learned from a lot of people going through this. I've had a passion for it. Never knew I was gonna jump back into it, and I did, and the love's been great, and it's been great even before I even drop it now. Like I've had the support since day one, and I feel great about it, and that's the whole reason why I tell these artists now, like, stay tapped in, stay pushing, because these people that I've mentioned or I've worked with, they know that I'm always professional when it comes to the music side. When it
Yeah.
comes to recording, if you were ever in the studio with me, you're like, dang, bet that this dude, he's really about the music. Like he's really gets in there. I try to get like 2, 3 songs out in one shot, every time, and I'm like, all right, and I want to play them back after all three of them. I want to play them back a couple of times. Let me like record it on my phone real quick, and then I'm out. I'm back to
Yeah.
my regular life, and then when I'm ready to get back in there, I go in there and I try to do that every time, man. And if people can't keep up, I try to teach them, and I never went to school for this, but being in there, like I said, I got my own formula and I feel that it works, and I try to, and I get, remember I was telling you how I create a vibe before.
Yes.
Well, I make sure my vibe's good, and they're on my vibe, because I'm like, if they're gonna be there recording with me, or I'm gonna record with them, I want the vibe. I want the vibe, superb. I wanted the vibe to be as big as it could be, and that way when we're writing, we're not nothing's forced, you know, and I'm able to go in there and nobody's messing up the session, like, outsiders, laughing all crazy, like when we're trying to do something. I don't care if they do, but at the wrong
Yeah.
times, if we got all that on check, man, I can sit in there and we could just create records all night. And
Uh,
and
you know,
everybody
I
that
sorry, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
and everybody that's ever recorded with me, they know that, and everybody that I'm about to work with is gonna know that, even if they could bring something to the table, I never go in there and stunt. I just always go in there, and I'm so turned up, my vibe is so high, my energy is so great that they're either gonna embrace it and we're gonna make something great, or they're gonna fight it and it's not gonna work, and that really never happens. They normally, I don't try to take what do you call it, the lead on everything, but it ends up happening if they're not in there as dedicated as I am, and I go in there 150% ready
No doubt.
every
No doubt.
time. Yeah, and the glory of learning how to write in bar format, or and then getting the time in, studio time in under me after so long. You learn, you get better. You're like, okay, this will sound better if it was like this. If you
Yeah.
would if you would calm down a little bit and spit it more calmly like this on this track, it'll sound better. So it takes a person to want to get better or know that sense of music that I'm talking about, to apply
Yeah.
it to theirs. And that's what I'm saying, that I haven't created my best record yet. My best record's gonna be when I got, like, everybody in the studio with me that I
A
need.
million.
In a million streams, I did that. I think I did that already. If you want to combine all my stuff together, I think I've done that. I'm not too sure. I don't want to toot my own horn. I might have for sure a half a mil streams put
Oh
together all
wow.
these little websites. You know, there's an old
All I hear
website
is
like if you go like on Hulkshare, you go on Hulkshare.com. It's an old one. They still have music
oh
on there. They still have music on there. My music's up there, and when I was popping still, I got numerous of plays on there. I got plays on it. I got plays everywhere, but like I said, if you want to combine them all, it's pretty up there. And but the work, I think it's more of the connections I made. It's more of the people that I impacted.
very
They've been
important.
rocking with me for a little while, and like I
Very
said,
important.
I feel like I just been slowly going like this, even though it's been years. I'm just steady going like this
It's never been done.
because people that like I said, that I met that when I was barely starting out are now in different places.
Yeah.
Now, now they're either not as far as where I'm at or they're ahead. But some people feel, like I said, it's not a race amongst one another as an artist anymore. A lot of
Nope.
people are in a race about the streams and all that. Like I was just trying to say, um, who are streaming it? You know what I mean? Are the right people streaming it? If it's the fans are the ones that we're trying to conquer, obviously to get paid. To get
Yes.
paid. Now,
Yes.
if we're not speaking, I'm talking about 100 million views, 1 million views right now doesn't pay you anymore. You
No.
quit. Don't quit your day
Consumption.
job. Don't quit your day job, rappers out there. Don't quit your day job because a million streams does not mean you're popping, or it doesn't mean you're getting paid. It means you got a
That's it.
million. It just means that you have a million more streams than I do. That's all it means, because that still ain't getting you paid. So we want to talk about longevity and how long are they going to stay at it? Are they going to fall off from me now, tomorrow, next year, 2 years, five
It's
years,
unpredictable.
maybe
It's all
10 years?
it's all about the way I keep going, man. You gotta just keep pushing at it. It's like
Okay,
that picture where you got those two guys that are like digging in the sand, and at the end of the tunnel, there's like a piece of gold that's up, but then the guy he's almost there. He's almost at the actual gold, but he stops right away while the other guy keeps pushing forward, and he
yep,
eventually gets it because of that hard work and dedication. That's all it
yep.
comes down to.
And that's what I'm saying. Like right now, me and you working together, and you out there in Canada been doing your thing. I've been supporting you for a little minute, and I've been seeing you, and
Likewise.
you've always been 100 with me. You always been 100%. You always been professional. That's one thing that I've always known, and you even been my go-to a couple times. A lot of people don't know that out there. That
Don't
I've reached,
forget the secrets,
but I've
bro. Don't
reached
get them how to
out.
keep.
Here that this is me putting them out there. I said, there's a lot of people. I've reached out to Edmund, and every time that I hit him up, he's always got back to me, and he's always been, professional about what we're talking about.
Appreciate
So if
that.
anybody out there that's gonna tap into this video, and you got anything you want to do, and you want to collab, or you want to do something, work with him, because it's been 100
I
since
appreciate
since
that,
day
man.
one. Me and
I
you dropped a
appreciate
couple
that.
mixtapes together.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and
Still
and that
going.
one, and that was a good look. That's when it was really like that. But then what happened was the mixtape scene just started declining, right, like shortly
Yeah,
after that.
it's actually my fault. It's my fault. I got tapped away in other ventures, so I didn't really have too much time invested into that. So
Yeah,
I even went to a point of creating like a new account, and surprisingly, I took a look at my emails, and I still getting people asking me to be put onto the actual mixtape because they're waiting for. I think we're on volume 19. I don't remember. Bro, we did 18, 18 mixtapes, bro,
damn,
all together.
damn.
So we
I
got
know.
19 people are like trying to come in. So obviously we got you for that coming up.
Yeah, yep. And
But
then
aside from that, yeah, I mean, you've been very inspirational to from what I've seen to a lot of people, especially in your hood, and I would say like in your in your sector. I want to call it in your sector because there's a
Yeah.
number of people that follow you, whether it be YouTube, Instagram, Twitter,
Yeah.
Facebook, whatever. So the people in your sector, I can see the influence that you have on them, and that you're still going at
Yes.
it. You're still moving forward. That's the most important thing. And I wanted to end off because I'm kind of at the end here. But I wanted
Okay.
to ask you a question, right? Two questions. First one was,
Hey,
how
wait,
does
hold
your
on.
family
Before you
feel?
ask that question,
Yeah.
we do. I think we're gonna have to do a part two because I haven't. I just scratched the surface. I haven't
I
even,
hear
you know
you.
what I mean, really dug
Okay,
in.
okay, we can do
But it's
that.
been a great conversation. I try to squeeze in as much as I could squeeze in for all these people out here,
No
and that's all
doubt.
I wanted to say real quick. But I'm gonna let you finish, and then we'll send our shout outs.
No doubt. I was gonna say, how does your family, your immediate family, feel about you doing your music, and are they supportive of it? Like, do they go out of their way to at least try to make things happen for you?
In the beginning, they did. My all my family is supportive. They all support me. I know they stream my music numerous times. So they show people. But I've been doing it for a while now, so it's probably not as much as it been. But they all are supportive. I have a lot of other support from other people that are like considered family. You know,
Yeah.
and again, I feel a lot of it is it's I guess like you said, I've inspired a lot of people. And I never really think about it, but I've have. I got my nephews. A lot of my nephews tapping in. They tapped in on this live today, and they do music.
Salute.
Um, I met so many people out here. There's producers that hey, just had conversations with. They came across me because I'm approachable. You can approach me and talk about anything, even though I've rapped with
Yes.
this artist, rap with that. I've never really let it get to my head, but at the same time, that's just me just trying to, just trying to be, somewhat myself still. I'm not trying to switch up, so I've always been like more of a, all right, let's work. If you hit me up, if you talk about me, talk with music with me, I'm trying to work with you. If you don't know anything,
Yep.
I'm trying to teach you everything I know. And I know I've done that to so many people out here. Do they go online and say it? No. Do a lot of artists, go online and be like, this dude got me some shows, or he threw some shows, or he put me on stage, he put me on this record. This is my
Talk about that
biggest,
too. We'll talk
yeah,
about
and there's, so like I said,
I
we
want
only,
to talk about your. I want to talk about your shows, the venues that you've been to, and I trust me. Yo, bro. I had like a list. I still have the list of questions that I want
oh,
to
I
ask you,
know,
but
man. Like I said,
the
I know the
conversation.
viewers, we can only fit so much in 1 hour. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like I said, we're gonna have to hit a part two. And forgive me out here, everybody. I was a little late to the live. My boy Edmund's been on time since yesterday. So
You
but
know, everybody know what's going on, man. We know what's going on, man. Don't worry about that.
yeah.
It's all
So
good. It's all good.
and it's going down from no, let me go ahead and send a quick shout out to everybody. Hey, everybody out here is L Looney Dollaz. You can find me everywhere. If you want to look at my music, my stage name is L. That's double spelled out, Double. And my IG handles Looney Dollaz. That's what I go by now. And what you guys can do is go ahead and tap in with me and shit. We doing shit from here to New York. My boys in Canada. I got peoples all over the world, man. We just now tapping back in. I'm reaching back out to all the people that I know out here, that I've been knowing and I've been working with, and they're gonna keep seeing all these projects coming out, man. I'm working on a lot of stuff. I've been a little quiet, because I wanna hit them upside the head with some stuff, and it's gonna be a little bit of everything. And me and you already kind of already working towards one of my my ideas. That I me. I hit you with something. I hit you with something, and then bam, here we are doing it. Before I'm hitting you with something, bam, we're right here doing it. And eventually we'll make that. Eventually we'll hook up. But hopefully this pandemic clears up, man. That way we could fly out somewhere.
Hopefully, man. Everybody is praying for this to be finished, but it looks like the vaccine is going to be something that everybody's going to be looking forward to, just that they want to do and be back
Yeah,
to
but
normal, right?
I don't know, man. If I don't need it, I don't need it, man. I feel I'm living good out here in this pandemic right now, man. I can't. I'm blessed right now. You know, I got a lot of things to complain about. You know, I want to, all my people that ain't here right now, I want to, send all my love to them. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna hold it down for all the people that ain't around anymore. And I'm definitely gonna imply them in my music like I've always done. I've done it in the past, and I'm gonna continue to represent out here for all of us. You know what I mean? As long as everybody continues to keep tapping in, here and there. I don't ask for much. Just tap in, check out what I'm doing.
Yeah,
Anybody want to work, just reach out. I'm reachable. If it's business, I'll definitely tap back in with you. If it's on some regular shit, that one's gonna be a little bit harder. You know what I mean? But definitely
yeah,
show your support out here, and I'll rock with you. Even if you don't, man, if you got a question or anything like that, if I can help out in any type of way, I'm all for it. Just hit me up, slide in my DM, and like I said, if it's business, I'll get back to you, and if it's not, don't expect a hit back. You know what I'm saying? But and I'm looking for talent. I got a label. I'm looking for some more people to work with out here, and even if I don't sign them, even if we do a project together and I put it out, on all platforms,
Mob
we can
Empire.
go ahead and work from different point of ends right now, from different ends.
Mob Empire, that's your right?
Yeah, it's called Mob Empire Records, and
Yeah.
we got a Facebook page called Mob Music and Mob Empire. I made two, so you can find both. That way, if you search one,
You can
uh,
find the other.
both of them will start popping up, so you can identify. You could match the two together, and they're both legit. We got a group. We got a Facebook group that's Mob Empire, but that's not really the main group. I only created that so I can do the gangster rap music group on Facebook.
Okay.
That's the group by my page. It's already at 1K or 2K. I'm not too sure, but I network a lot of my stuff right there. And but if you guys hit me up on IG, that's where you guys can tap in with me. Majority of the time, throw me a comment. I'll check it out. Will work,
That's
man.
what's up.
And we're gonna
That's
do
what's
what?
up.
Hey, Edmund, we're gonna do a part two next week
Next week? Yeah,
when you're
if
free.
it's like roughly around yeah, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about it. I think it'll be like around okay, from here let me think right now. 6 o'clock your time can work for me, but I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. I should be fine.
If we do it
I
like
should
on a Tuesday or Wednesday, I feel like we could do it a little bit earlier, and then we could do it like around 4 or 5 on my end. That way it'll be like 7 or 8 at your end.
yeah.
Because
Okay.
I'm not
Okay,
I'm not
we'll
thinking
figure it
about
out
that.
because huh?
Because I'm not really thinking about the other 3 hours, but I'm not thinking about when it's gonna end too. So I think once we get all those little tight in, you know what I mean, we'll do that. But
No
hey,
doubt.
thanks for well, we got to do a part two to this interview because we only
I
scratched the
will. We
surface,
will.
baby.
We will, bro.
All
I
right,
appreciate
everybody.
everything.
Hey, everybody, salute. Shout out to my boy Edmund, the general, right here. Go ahead and hit his page, follow his page, and you're gonna definitely see a lot more work from us.
Everybody check out L Double O. Make sure you go on Spotify. Oh, by the way, I'm also looking at my screen over here because I'm streaming at another spot as well.
Nice.
So everybody go check out L Double O. Look on Spotto him on Instagram. Looney Dollaz.
Yep.
LOONEYDOLL. Make sure you guys check
Hey,
him out. Follow him, sub. Check out his songs. I'm telling you, bro. I'm feeling this song right here. Put your guns down.
bump that
Lift up
shit.
your sons. Did you hear it?
Yeah, I can hear it. That put your guns down
Is it
fire too.
loud?
Which one's that? Oh, that was Mazuma.
Stacks, bricks, whip, shit,
Hustle getting money, bumping gangster music.
Real shit, hustle getting money, bumping gangster music. Boy, what's the truth? Are you a gangster or thug? There's a difference. Do you smoke joints or blood?
Choosy. You see your boy papered up, hustling, doing his thing, got packs with the team moving up.
Yeah, man. Yo, guys, everybody check him out. Again, support him. Bro, I appreciate you, for having me up on your live. And we'll do this
Always.
again.
Always. No, definitely, dog. We're gonna definitely, do a lot of work, and we're gonna definitely go down in history together, brother.
No doubt, man. Much respect, bro.
All right,
Much
man.
respect.
Hey, I'll see you. So we'll tap back in, boy. Talk to you guys
I
later.
will.
All right, peace.
Peace.